Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Classic WoW video. My name is Kargoz, and today I'm going to just, off the top of the head, discuss some of the things if Blizzard is to do a Classic Plus, and if they were to make changes to Vanilla WoW, what me personally would like to see from that, and what would make me compelled to actually want to play that over just regular 1x Vanilla. So here we go. That's my first point right out of the gate. Regular 1x Vanilla WoW, in all of its imperfectly perfect glory, sets such a high bar, such a gold standard for fun. It's just an incredibly fun game to play that people understand, and has stood the test of time over all the years. So for me, it would just be very difficult to put something out that I would want to play more than this. But if it were possible, this is probably what it would have to look like for me. Don't touch the classes. Don't touch the talents. These are sacred. They make vanilla feel like vanilla. If you are to touch them, you would have to make adjustments to the classes in a very subtle way that doesn't make the game look like really visually different. There's nothing jarring like Metamorphosis out of Sod or Death Grip on Warrior. It would have to be subtle things that wouldn't really shift the meta in terms of like the hyper giga min-max side of things, but would shift the meta on just kind of the more casual front. And what I mean by that is like you could add just a taunt to Shaman and a taunt to Paladin. Like nothing special, it would just be like an 8-second cooldown or a 10-second cooldown basic taunt. Now something like that, like Warriors are still going to be the best tanks, you know, they're still going to scale the hardest and stuff like that, but it would allow the players to cook a little bit more in the sandbox. It would allow enhancement shamans too to truly be able to go the distance and like be able to tank a little more effectively, even if they're not the best by any means. And same thing with paladins, it would make prot like just a little bit more serviceable, a little bit more fun to play. So that might even be like the only adjustment to the classes that I'd recommend, something like that, where you can make one subtle change, maybe to like Boomkin or something to just boost them up a tiny bit, but the game still, 99% of it is like feeling the same. But the main thing I think that I would want to see to make me want to play a version of Classic Plus over just my favorite game of all time would be if they took some of the parts of the map that are clearly there, but there's nothing there, like this. You know, in between Fellwood and Winterspring, whatever this is. Or some of these sections that are on the map, and they actually flesh them out. They turn them into proper zones, and the zones are beautiful. They're gorgeous. They have unique soundtracks to them that have really moving music, similar to the Ballad of the Barons or How It Feels to Be in Westfall, like Grizzly Hills Tears music, where it's just the art is just screaming at you. And it feels very authentic vanilla. It feels like it was always supposed to be there. And you don't have to do anything crazy. Like, you don't need to have mandatory dailies in the zone. Maybe the zone is there and there's one more leveling dungeon in the zone. And that's really it. You know, there's still thorium and mithril and all the normal ore and stuff like that. There's still herbs. You know, it's possible you could put something similar to Devil Sores in that zone. Because I think we can all agree that Devil Sores and like the mafia that forms around them and people fighting for the crater, very fun stuff. And there's really no other mobs in the game similar to Devil Sores in that way. So something like that, where you just make the world a little bigger, you make the sandbox a little bigger, is really the first thing that comes to mind to make me want to play it. And somehow, if you could get some of the OG devs involved too, and learn what they had planned back in the day, and kind of get their blessing on certain stuff and be able to tell that story. Because I've talked with Kevin Jordan before, I've talked with John Stats before, I've talked with people even at BlizzCon who have been on the team since 2004, and they're able to share insights on like how things were done. And what I've learned over the years is that there were a ton of dungeons planned for Vanilla WoW. The majority of them never made the cut. There's a ton of unfinished content in Vanilla. So finishing that content, expanding the world, not really touching the classes and talents. I think we've seen with Sod that that's a real slippery slope and the game can quickly get Frankensteined if you touch them too much. That to me is honestly the number one reason why I don't want to play Sod. The classes just don't they're alien to me. Yeah, I don't know why that kills it for me. They're not the classes I know and love. They're not like the vanilla classes. They're just some kind of Frankenstein. And then as far as adding a new raid, I do think if there was to be an attempt at Classic Plus, the people would want more endgame content. I do think if they did Classic Plus and there was no new raid, like maybe a 40-man and a 20-man, people would feel like It's not good. So it's really whether you want to do it after Nax and increase the power level more in vanilla, or maybe you do it before Nax, in between AQ40 and Nax, or the gear is just like equivalent to Nax gear, right around the same power level, but maybe there's interesting effects on it, something like that. I mean, just to wrap things up, because I just want to make like a simple point, is when it comes to Classic Plus, in my view, it should still feel like home. I want to make the comparison between Classic Plus and regular vanilla, and feel, and like my thought process is like, I could play regular vanilla, or I could play this other thing that still feels pretty much exactly like the game vanilla that I know and love, but it's a little bigger, there's a little more to do, and I still feel like I understand it perfectly. I still feel like I understand the previous grind and the sacred items, and you're still excited for SGC. Nothing changes. It's that feeling of mastery, but it's just a little bigger. It's a little more robust of a world, and I think to myself, yeah, I kind of want to play that version. It sounds nice. There's a couple more zones, but that's all. Thank you for watching the video. Comment, rate, subscribe. There's our logo of the server for now. There's a lot of OGs here from the vanilla scene, from the private server scene playing here. New and old. We're trying to create something special here. So thank you guys for watching, and that's it for now.